The Otama Marere Trust was one of 3 finalists in the MPI-supported 2020 Ahuwhenua Trophy competition that celebrates and supports excellence in Māori farming. The kiwifruit development near Paengaroa was begun in the 1980s and has since diversified into gold kiwifruit, organic production and more recently avocado. Alongside wetland restoration in conjunction with the Regional Council and the Ngā Whenua Rahui Fund, the orchard development is a showcase for Māori horticulture, including hapu employment, pest and disease management and conversion to organics.
The land area, it's located in the suburb of Paengaroa of Te Puke, which is located in the Bay of Plenty. This particular area here has a canopy area of kiwifruit, avocados, kaoris and wetlands up to about 30 to 40 hectares. And of that, 21 hectares is kiwifruit. We are growing 2 varieties, which is the Haywood and what we call the Sun Gold G3. Originally we had the 16A, but that was decimated through the advent of the PSA back in 2010, and then they came up, fortunately for the kiwifruit growers, with the Sun Gold G3. Of the organics, which were just recently converted over, are a third of the conventional. Hopefully to get up to about 50%, just because of the economics. When the Northern Hemisphere fruit runs out, then we try and time our fruit to get in onto the shelves. If we can get into that early start program, then we got the pick of the employees. And because I was probably only say if I can put it down to a percentage basis, maybe only about 10% in the industry would go early start. And then we have all the employees sitting there waiting to pick or half-start fruit. So we've got a pick of all those numbers. But when it comes main pick, then everybody comes on board and they want workers. And I can see that becoming a huge issue this year because of the labour shortage, and we can't get the RC workers in because of COVID-19. During the harvesting, we will go up to a number of about 80 to 90, depending on how urgent the fruit has to be picked, and they are contracted in. Where the trust is concerned, we carry probably an average of about 12 to 14 people, and mainly they are whānau or family, appointed. 30% of our income, that we make our net income, is given out towards the trust as far as grants and education grants and any assistance sports, and to help a lot of our older generation people. Originally we were growing pine trees. I grew that for a number of years, harvested in 2018, had this unproductive land, and so we planted up to 2,000 kauri plants. Well, the benefits of the plantings of these native species, I believe, is get back to nature, put New Zealand back to where it was. So the Whenua Rahui is like a branch of Department of Conservation. We wanted to develop our wetlands, and we approached them for fundings and the expertise. So with them, as well as the Bay of Plenty Regional Council, both of them came on board, and hence the commencement of the wetland developments began. The relationship that we have with the Bay of Plenty Regional Council is that they help us financially to promote the growing of the wetlands, the growth, the development of our kauri and manuka plantings, and for the control of the pests and diseases, within the wetlands.
You're saying that your mulcher can get it in the next few weeks?
Yeah.
So council's role with these sorts of projects is mainly around the enhancement of water quality and also biodiversity. So we have a range of subsidies that we have available, and part of my role and my colleagues in council is advocating for good land management like here. The wetland behind us here, it was previously grazed by a neighbouring dairy farmer, and being historically a wetland, there's issues with grazing, intensive cattle in an area like that. So we've come in to help Otama Marere Trust restore it as a wetland. And so it's been a process of looking at how we can restore it back to a natural functioning wetland ecosystem. That involved blocking up some of the drains and restoring some of the hydrology to the area, and then working through planting with appropriate native plants that would once have been in this area. So mainly we're dealing with harakeke and cabbage trees and sedges and so on. And then also we've got a range of tree shrub species like manuka and so on, which will eventually create something of a wetland forest as well around the drier margins. Nationally, we've got less than 10% of our wetlands remaining. In the context of this local area, probably far less than that. The whole Kaituna was once a big wetland complex. Wetlands are nature's kidneys, essentially. So with an intensive agriculture around it, they do provide attenuation of nutrients, sediment, bacteria and the like from getting down into the Kaituna River. But also, and possibly more importantly, is they do provide habitat value for a range of native fauna. There's a lot of endangered cryptic wetland birds like bittern and banded rail, and also tuna and inanga and the like. Yeah.